York / just living in general. Little claps for Zach Oyama as Ricky Matsui.
Thank you.
New York's good boy.
The guy who never lived in New York out of everyone here.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, yeah.
Zach's never been lonely, also. He's just surrounded by friends and family.
Super popular, cool dude, yeah.
You have nice hair like that. You never have to be lonely.
Jacked, too.
Freaking jacked and great.
That's true. We don't talk about how jacked Zach is enough.
I'm wearing a sweatshirt to hide my just
yeah, it's like, it's overwhelming if you see how jacked he is. So he keeps...
Hey everybody and welcome back to Hey everybody and welcome are going to spawn right here, and looks pretty good to me. All right, so I went ahead and grabbed all of my spruce and a lot of my oak wood because we're going to start the tutorial for the mob farm. This one is going to be a double layered mob farm. You can stack these as much as you want to increase the spawn rate, and if you just want a single one, you just won't follow the next steps that I do after I build the first one. Get yourself a 3x3 of cobblestone.
He's very modest.
Anyways, next question.
That was a great scene. Honestly, that's one of my well, first of all, y'all know that I already love when PCs call for scenes. Like, one of my favorite part of playing with all of you is that at this point we're all comfortable enough that none of you think twice about being like, oh, Brennan, let me run over and hit up this NPC, which is always my favorite because I love A, being put on the spot, and B, like improvising that stuff. So, you know, we have this thing. I truthfully, almost forgot that the Macy's Day Parade happens on Thanksgiving Day itself. My childhood memories of the parade were very much just about the parade. I have a picture of me on my dad's shoulder when I'm like 4 years old, off the corner of near it's like off of 50th Street, with the Ronald McDonald balloon going ass over tea kettle and kind of like flying away and people grabbing the ropes on it. And but that's Ricky just being like, hey, I'm gonna check it up on JJ, was so rad. And obviously, like, you guys had been on JJ for a minute. Like, Cody had like reached out to him a couple times. There's been people point out, but it was such a powerful, cool scene, totally improvised in that moment. I didn't think anyone was gonna go hit up JJ. Zach, do you remember, like, in that moment, if there was something that had like that you were like either worried about JJ at that moment, or if there's something that sort of like,
we recorded such a long time ago. It's hard to remember exactly what was in my brain, but just remembered that, like from just the handful of scenes we run with him, that like, yeah, he's like a indigenous person alone in New York on Thanksgiving, and was just like, yeah, I think that Ricky would probably check in with that guy, and yeah.
It's
and
so
that just
cool.
made sense.
Yeah, it's so Ricky is such a cool. It's very cool to watch this, and actually, like talking about like Sophia's Way of the Shadow, Ricky as Oath of Redemption. There are a lot of moments, especially in like the rewatch, as I've been like looking at the edits of the season come together. Ricky is an incredible Oath of Redemption paladin, and he does so many things this season that have nothing to do with smite damage and are really about actually being the goodest boy in New York, really being like the most golden-hearted dude of like, because like you have your partner, like you have Esther there, you could go have a quiet little Thanksgiving together, and you're like, there's someone in the city right now who needs someone more than anyone else, and just like that, you know,
in some ways it's much easier to do it in a D&D campaign than in your real life.
Yeah, just get up and leave Thanksgiving.
What's the best thing I could possibly do right now?
Don't stack too high, and then put slabs on the top of your choice, and then from there what you can do is place a block on top. Make sure you got it where
Yeah, I mean, I think that from Ricky's just general vibe, like there's obviously there's so much of that is his like already his personality that I think that it helps him make that kind of choice. Like I think it'd be harder for a different character to make that choice because like people in their life would be like, why are you doing that? Or, you know, like it's just so like people understand that about him that it makes that easier. You know?
Yeah. Well, it caught me off guard because it was so like I play a lot of NPCs. So anytime you guys put extra care and attention into one of the many people that I am being and are like, I hope this like fictional person is doing okay, I'm always a little bit like touched. I'm like, oh, they remembered one of my guys, one of my made up people. And it was such a touching moment to come in and find him there. And also to like kind of crack the case wide open on what was going on with Tony Simos, with the confrontation, and putting together the whole thing with like the two auras that he noticed being the True Strike and the Hexblade's Curse, right? Mm-hmm. And also suddenly I thought it was very magnanimous as well, because when you're watching these shows, you definitely have player character bias of like, we love what player characters do. But to really for Ricky to look at it from JJ's perspective of like, I'm brand new here. We're at this peace summit. I don't really know, I don't really know who to trust. And I see this offensive magic going on. And for Ricky to be like, it's a complicated situation, but this guy's a weird shit. Like you're like to be like, no judgment on you. It's a complicated situation. and it definitely gets into what I was in terms of like seeing the Umbra and like the whole idea of like magical loneliness, that like for me at least, when I moved to New York for college, I moved to 50 because I'd been living partially upstate and then visiting my dad in the city. I grew up in the city when I was a very itty bitty little kid, and then got back when I was 17, moved into an apartment with my dad, and 2 weeks after I moved in as a 17-year-old going to college, my dad was like, I have to move. He's like, I'm moving in with my partner who he would marry like the next year. And he was like, but don't worry, you'll be staying here, but I'm not gonna live here anymore. So I was 17 living by myself in the city, and I didn't talk to anyone for the first 5 days. I just like didn't talk. I ordered a sandwich at the deli, and I remember like one morning I woke up and got a phone call, and my throat was like kind of closed up from not having spoken to anybody. Like I could feel that like phlegm had built up. And I watched The Land Before Time, which is the wrong movie to watch if you're feeling sad and alone, and just bawled my eyes out when the dinosaur talks to Littlefoot after, spoilers for Land Before Time, well, Littlefoot's mom passes away. And it's like,
what? I've never seen this movie. What if I was gonna watch it now?
It may have literally come out before we were born.
Yeah.
It came out in the 80s. I don't remember if it was
early 80s.
Yeah.
I do.
Well,
that
I'm
resonates
fucked
with
now.
me.
yeah.
There's like 800 sequels as well, I think.
Fuck! You want to
like-
spoil them for me too, Brennan?
I'm so sorry. I
There's
can't believe I spoiled-
dinosaurs.
There are dinosaurs. Spoiler: there's dinosaurs. No, but like Zach, I think you're saying it's like the
where it's one slab above, and then it goes.
in that space, it really rattles you. That loneliness, especially in New York. I mean, it's everywhere, but in New York, there are so many people who moved there chasing a dream, which like that didn't stay on the family farm, that aren't in the small town where they grew up in. I taught so many 101 intensives at UCB that people broke down weeping at the end of the week. I remember one guy from Texas saying in a UCB class at the end of a week of improv, saying, I've been here for 8 months and I was about to move back home. He's like, I wanted to be an actor and I didn't. He's like, it's been so lonely. I've been working at a job where no one even looks at me or talks to me. And I just thought I'd made the worst mistake of my life. And he's like, just finding other people who were excited to see me is like the biggest deal in the world. Yeah, it kills you. Finding other people that are excited to see me. It's very, very real.
It's tough. I cried on the subway a lot. So many times.
It is so weird when you like move somewhere for the first time and you're like a young person or whoever, you're trying something out like that, and you just like, there's so many things that are a part of your daily life where you used to live, whatever, where you're like, God, I just don't even know how to like come up with what is the equivalent here at all? Like, what, I don't have a group of friends, I don't have a thing, like any sort of activities that you just take for granted in that way. And it's, like I remember my freshman year of college was the exact same way, where it was just like, I will just go get food and come. Come back, it's so easy to just get lost in that.
And I think that it breaks people down. And the whole thing with like, especially JJ seeing Ricky in that moment, who extended that true act of friendship and was able to then be like, I like this guy Tony is weird. And to me, the whole thing of like, it's not that JJ was criticizing himself for bad judgment, but for me, the story of that was Tony was paying him attention, right? And Tony was paying him attention and like found a way in to make those overtures because JJ had gotten freaked out by what he saw. And there is that weird thing when you move to a new community and you like whoever the first people who talk to you are, you're like, I guess these are my friends here a little bit, or like, I guess this is my thing in this moment. Obviously, the Hero Champions had that big battle with JJ at the Holland Tunnel, but after the weird like now I'm like scared or I can't be sure what's going on, and I feel removed, and Tony reaching out in that way. For someone as like Tony, who is very perceptive and manipulative in that way, is like an easy in to see someone who's that isolated and make that inroad there.
I also think it's very like beautiful storytelling and everything to have it be like, it's almost when Cody and Pete are playing video games with JJ and stuff, it's more because they're suspicious. So it's like Cody is kind of keeping tabs on JJ while Ricky is checking in on JJ. And the subtle difference there is that like that actually connects. That actually is, because it's the same thing we were talking about right before with Iga of like, you can just, tell your kids what you want them to do, but that's just going to, that's never going to work. You have to figure out a way to like, communicate with people. So it's like, it's very cool that like, because as the player, I'm kind of metagaming, right? I'm kind of being like, Cody's a shithead. Why the fuck is he checking in on JJ? Like, I guess because they play video games together, but like, he's not like thinking of anyone other than himself. But me as the player, I'm a little bit like, ooh, this dude could be getting manipulated, and that doesn't work because that's fake. You know what I mean? But Ricky's thing is like very real, so it's like beautiful that that it worked out that way.
Right. Cody's in a place right now also where he's like so at rock bottom that the idea of helping somebody else, I feel like, is just like, sorry, man,
why would you ever?
Can you help me?
Yeah.
I could really use $20. I know you're crying.
I'm sad about the mall, so.
Cody might also just need another for Among Us, so he just.
Yeah. That's true.
Oh, Cody not being able to find enough people to play Among Us.
Oh, that's so sad.
He would lose instantly because he would get so mad anytime he was accused.
You would
Cody
play
is sus,
exactly
dude.
the way
Cody
that
is
you
sus.
play, Murph.
I don't fucking suck, dude. I don't suck.
Wow.
You play
you're
exactly the way
sus.
Murph does. That
I'm
you
sus.
go you're so aggressive every single time that you seem
Yes,
suspicious.
you seem suspicious.
Well, I just like to make moves because people like to do the non-vote, but I think it's really funny to just.
I always like to vote.
Yes.
Just be like,
Murph plays
everything
video
a
games
little
so
sus-
aggressively, even when we were playing WoW and he's the healer and he's like, come on, guys, hurry up.
Zach wasn't there.
He's always
Zach's our
fucking
tank.
pulling
Zach,
people.
you're usually leading the way. So without Zach there, I had to lead the way. And
No, you didn't.
But you, no, this isn't fair though, because when we play with you, you're always telling us whether or not we can go, and it's one rule for you and then one rule for us. Then once we start leading with Pistachio, suddenly Pistachio is actually a really good lead.
Let me just say this: Siobhan, as our tank, was doing so little leading that the other person in our group thought she was AFK and tried to get her booted.
I was not.
Take that.
I was playing a monk. I was not playing a tank monk. For some reason, the game decided that I was the tank. It completely.
And yet
messed up
you
all of
picked
my
tank.
keys.
Almost like I'm a really good tank. Almost like I'm a really. a good tank,
send
right?
him in,
That's a good-
and then
Zach, we
I
would've lost
love
without
him.
you.
Well,
We
he
would've
takes
lost without
damage.
you, Zach.
So he was
I healed
fun.
We would've lost without
I
you.
healed
I can't
myself.
help
He
that I'm
takes-
fast when I'm in wolf form. I can't help that I'm fast when I'm in wolf form. Anyway, we've all been playing WoW.
Brennan, get WoW. It's been really fun.
I want to come play. I want to come play WoW. That would be the last Warcraft game I played. I think was literally Warcraft 2.
Yes, I've never.
Warcraft 2
This
is
is the
so
first time
awesome.
I played World of Warcraft.
Do they
I don't
still-
think I've played Warcraft.
Do the orcs still say Zug Zug?
Yeah, sometimes.
Maybe, yeah. They really don't change much.
This next question comes to us from Thought Topic Manager. Thought spelled THO.
Ooh,
Great.
okay, that's gonna be you.
I guess that's a question for Iga, or
Whoa.
Actually, curveball. This is a Sophia Pete question.
Whoa.
Although
Interesting.
it was in parentheses double question mark, probably joking, the tease of a Sophia Pete flirtation is interesting. We've never seen PC romance in Dimension 20 other than the postscript Rowan Pete stuff. Oh, I guess Rowan Pete does count. Is that something you all are philosophically opposed to, given the inherent weirdness that can happen, or something we could see in the future?
I think
gone.
it would feel a little weird. My feeling is that it might feel a little weird because then it would like take over. Like if like me and Siobhan's character had a romance, then it would suddenly take it over, and then therefore we would matter more to each other than the other PCs. And I would wonder how that would feel as a party. If
Right.
it would
That's why I
feel-
didn't want to have the Rowan Pete thing be the center of this story, because it was like. But then that's all it's about. It's like when you're in an improv group and then two of them start dating.
Yeah. Right, and then it's
Wow.
It's
yeah.
happened to all of us. And I
Putting a
didn't think that
lot
happened.
of people, putting a lot of our mutual friends
Yes.
on blast right
Putting
now.
them on blast
Yeah.
right now. Unprofessional, even if you have children right now, which is very cute.
We have,
Whoa, I know exactly who you're talking about now.
I honestly, here's the thing: you don't, because we know like 5 people that happened to, 5 couples.
That's true. Me and Murph work together.
That's true. And you did work together and then meet. Unprofessional.
We work together. We play pretended to
Unprofessional,
be
guys.
in a
I'm
relationship,
fucking-
and then we date. So yeah,
I'm
you
pulling
know
back
what?
Dilla.
You're right. I am officially unprofessional.
Did you have to go to Sam when you started dating?
I think we did.
I feel like the idea of PCs.
I think it was like. Oh yeah, sorry. Go on.
I feel like it's just like, pardon the pun, just such a dice roll,
Yeah.
And it's
I feel like
yes.
also like storytelling wise, there's a reason that people don't like the last few seasons of The Office as much, which is
Yeah.
that like you can't bring your will they won't they together. So like
Yes.
with
Yeah.
like Rowan and Pete, that got kind of teased at the end of last season, and then they had broken up this season, which is like the perfect way to do an inter-party relationship. Is like if two characters like hit it off or something, that's fine. But I think once it's like you can't just like be, I don't know, it'd be really weird if it was,
Frankly, I would worry about feeling a little self-indulgent if like I keep going back to me and Siobhan just because like how hot would that be? But like
It'd be really hot. But